Hello folks! You asked how Nginx works as a reverse proxy. I'll show you how I have it set up. It's running on a virtual server alongside Docker, which has 2 processors and 6 GB of RAM. So, I created a directory, opt docker, and this is where I store the containers I use. Here we will create some random Docker web. I found some software called Easy Appointment, and we will copy the docker-compose file. Let's create a new directory for this project called Easy Appointment. Switch to it, create a file named docker-compose.yml, and paste the copied configuration. We must change port to some, which is not used on this virtual machine, I thinking that 8009 will be okay. For be sure, we will use netstat command with switch pelntu. Yes, we can continue. So we can now run command for initialize this container. This command is docker-compose up-d. In the meantime, we will prepare a configuration file for the domain. In my case, it's easy.nnavc.com, so that the reverse record points to the server with IP address 192.168.0.111 and port 8009. I will try explain what is here, so I take some program, which I don't know what really does, but is clear, that using MySQL database, which is only for this container will be reachable on port 8009. And this configuration we will copy to new file in Nginx sites enabled folder. So, without the slightest idea of what program we're actually preparing and how the configuration looks, we'll switch to a new terminal and switch to the root account. We'll see what's there and create a file easy.nnavc.com into which we'll paste the pre-prepared configuration. We will check if configuration file doesn't have any error by command nginx-te. When everything looks okay, we will apply new Nginx configuration without interrupting currently running processes by command nginx-s reload. So Docker has finished. We'll check if something is listening on port 8009 by command netstat-pluntu. Yes, something is running there, so let's see how it looks at http://easy.nnavc.com. Oh, it's pointing to localhost. I'll go ahead and update the container definition. I'll replace localhost with a public address and update the container configuration again using the docker-compose up-d command. Now, we'll enter the correct address into the browser and... yes, it's there. Great. It's doing something, so our actions have been successful. Now, the only thing missing for perfection is a security certificate, so let's go ahead and create it. We'll use Let's Encrypt. Type the command, Certbot, and press Enter. Where do I have you? Here it is, number 6, so I'll type 6. And yes, 2, I want automatic redirection to the HTTPS protocol. Despite it being done automatically, we'll still check with the nginx command the correctness of the configuration files and take a look at the new configuration file. We can see that it added a path to the new certificates. So now let's take a look at how it looks now. Well, we have a small problem. We need to adjust the container definition again to the correct address with the correct protocol. So we'll change HTTP to HTTPS. We'll reload the container configuration again with docker-compose up-d and... And we're done, let it do what it does. So let's recap, shall we? Nginx as a reverse proxy. First, we need something to publish. For this, we randomly selected a Docker container that I didn't even know what it is or what it does. We need to know which ports we can use to attach this application. Use the command netstat-pullen2 for that. In the container definition, the first value is the physical machine's value, and after the colon is the value inside the container. Once you have the initial definition ready, save the docker-compose.yml file, and then use the docker-compose-up-de command to start the initial image upload from Docker Hub, configuration, and container launch. To check if there's any service on the selected ports, you say the netstat-pullen2 command again. Another prerequisite is correctly configured DNS. Ideally, if you have an asterisk dot your domain name assigned to your public IP. For more information, you should inquire with your DNS provider about the correct syntax. Don't forget to set up port forwarding on your edge device, typically your internet service provider's router. Ports 80 and 443 should be directed to the address of the server with the reverse proxy server. Here, it's 192.168.11.